Hello, my loves. Welcome back to the It Girl Mindset. Today, we are diving into a mid-year reset. And I thought this would be the perfect time to just really talk about how you can look at your life, see what's working, see what's not, see where you're out of alignment, see where you're unhappy, so you can make baby steps towards really designing a life, a body, a future of your dreams. We're going to go through my 4-step process so you can live an abundant dream life and become exactly who you know you're meant to be. Before we dive into the step-by-step, I just want to say something. You are not stuck, okay? You have so much power to change, reset, restart at any time, okay? So often we feel like we're stuck in our circumstances and our life, whether that's a job, relationship, environment, wherever it may be. So many people feel like they're stuck and that they don't have a choice, but you actually do have a choice. And everything in your life right now that's going on, positive or negative, is there because of you. And I know that can be such a tough pill to swallow, but it's also something that gives you so much freedom once you truly understand that you are in control of your life, okay? And another side note, if you're listening to this on a Monday, a Sunday, a Tuesday, a Wednesday at 9 a.m., 4 p.m., whatever it may be, start now, okay? When it comes to reaching goals, when it comes to stepping into this new, amazing, abundant version of yourself, you don't have to wait till Monday. You don't have to wait till next year. You don't have to wait till next month, okay? Start right now. I know that we are cyclical beings, like cyclical beings where we love cycle, we love routine. And so that's why January 1st, everyone gets hyped about starting their goals and being disciplined and just becoming the person they always want to be, right? But then it fades. So that's why if you are one of those people who have struggled to stick with New Year's resolutions, or you feel like you've tried, but you always end up falling off, try starting in the middle of the week, in the middle of the day, so you can prove to your brain that you don't have to start January or the 1st or whatever it may be. Start right now, okay? So step number 1 is you're going to do a life audit, okay? I've talked about this here on the podcast before, but I do this almost monthly. What I want you to do is take a look at every single area of your life, okay? And you're going to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. So I'm going to go through each area. These are actually wellness pillars. A lot of coaches, a lot of different people in the industry have different takes, but this is what I consider to be the wellness in different areas of your life, okay? We're going to start with physical, okay? Your physical body. Rate that on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being like, I'm obsessed, I feel so confident, I feel amazing. 1 being, I'm so unhappy, I struggle so much, I feel uncomfortable in my skin, okay? The next one is social. So this is, relationships, going out and about, doing things, living your life. Okay, social, rate that from 1 to 10. Environmental is next. Your home, there's a separate occupational, so don't necessarily do work environment, but how do you feel about where you live? It could mean one of two things. It could just be your home specifically, like your home environment, or it could be where you live as a whole. Okay, so rate that 1 to 10. Next is intellectual. So this is really learning new things, growing, investing in yourself, having your mind stimulated. How is that for you? Scale 1 to 10. Then is financial. Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel financially right now? 10 being like, I'm so good, I'm growing, I'm investing, I'm doing all these things. 1 being like, I'm so stressed and scared and have a scarcity mindset around money and a bad relationship with money, okay? Then we have occupational. So this is your career. How happy are you in your job, your work environment? Not only the type of work that you're doing, but where you work, the people that are in your office, okay? Anything that has to do with your career, go ahead and rate that 1 to 10. And then lastly is emotional. So how is your emotional well-being? Do you feel happy most of the time? Do you feel joyful most of the time? Or do you feel stressed 24/7 and exhausted 24/7, okay? So I want you to go through each and every single one of these areas and do a life audit, okay? Rate it 1 to 10. Then after you rate them, whichever is lowest or whatever the one you are feeling pulled towards most, that is on the lower side, I want you to write down a couple of action steps that you can do to move that up, even just 1 to 2 points, okay? For example, maybe financial, you're like, okay, I'm sick of my own shit. I really want to get my financial situation together. What you can do is maybe you just start tracking your expenses, right? Such a great way to just take one step in the right direction. Maybe you want to look into a side hustle to increase your income, right? Those are 2 things that you can do to move that financial piece up. Okay, maybe intellectual, you're like, I'm so bored. I like my job, but I'm bored. So maybe if intellectual is something you want to increase, you can either ask at your job, like, hey, I really want to learn more about this. Like, sometimes companies will actually give you money to go and do outside learning. So that could be something like that. Or maybe you want to invest in a course, maybe like a little bit more self-development wise, some sort of shadow work course or nervous system, whatever it may be, right? Okay, so this just gives you a picture of where you're at, right? What is feeling really good and what is not, okay? So that way you can see where you want to improve. So maybe you're environmental. You're like, I hate where I live. I love my home. I hate where I live. You can change where you live, okay? And again, if you are like, your brain's going to try to make all these excuses as to why, because your brain does not like change. Change is scary to your brain, right? So knowing that, how can you know that but continue to make steps towards actually changing that, right? You're not stuck where you live. You're not stuck in your relationship. You're not stuck in your financial situation. You're not stuck in your emotional capacity, right? You can change all of these things, even on the emotional side of things. Maybe you're like, I feel stressed and unhappy all the time, okay? How can you change that? Maybe you can start listening to more mindset podcasts. Maybe you can start meditating. Maybe you can invest in some sort of self-development course, right? You have so many options, right? But it's your job to take those things and be able to move forward. Step number 2 is to create systems and not goals. Now that you know what needs work, right? That life audit, you know exactly the parts of your life that you need to improve. Systems are what get you to goals, right? It's your input part of the goals. So instead of just focusing on a goal, instead of just focusing on, okay, example, I want to lose 10 pounds. Cool. That's great. But what do you actually need to do to get there? That's where the systems come into place, okay? Maybe you're going to do Pilates 3 times a week, okay? That's a system right there. Maybe you're going to wake up 30 minutes earlier so you can go on a walk, or have a little bit of a morning routine so you can get your head in the right space so you can show up as your healthiest self, right? Systems create change and create the results. Goals are okay to have, but they're not the thing that's going to get you there, because you're like, cool, I want to, maybe you want to become an influencer. I want to hit 10K followers. Cool. That's great. But what are the systems? What are the habits, the things that you need to do every single day to get you towards that goal, right? I want you to think of an area of your life where you really want to work towards. Maybe that is starting a podcast. Maybe that's, working towards your dream body. Maybe it's moving. Maybe it's, you're a corporate girl, you're trying to move up move up and get a raise, whatever it may be. Create systems, okay? Write down the area and then write down the system to get there, right? Okay, if it is a weight loss goal, again, maybe you're like, okay, Pilates 3 times a week, waking up 30 minutes earlier, doing a meditation every single week. Maybe you need to work on your relationship with food, right? Create systems so you can in turn reach your goals. It's funny because I am like such a systems girly. I love rituals. I love habits. I thrive when I have to create a new routine. Your brain likes that. Your brain likes cycles, but in order for us to break out of our old patterns, we need to create new ones, right? And we're going to talk about that in a second on how to do that. But I'll give you an example of a routine that is so boring, but I made it cute and fun. So I'm on a gut healing journey, as you probably know if you listen to my podcast, and my naturopath has given me a ton of supplements to take. That was such a struggle for me to take every single day. It's not like I'm like, okay, cool, I have to take 3 different supplements 3 times a day. I'm just going to magically remember that. No, I had to create a system in my life to be able to actually show up and take those supplements, okay? So what I did And what I still do every single morning now is I have these cute little cups. I actually think they're like, they're from World Market, and they are little, I think they're like topping little cups or something, like you're supposed to put ketchup and mustard in, but they're the perfect little size for my supplements. So every single morning I set the vibe, I put on my diffuser, I dim the lights, and I take me and my boyfriend's supplements and I put them in these 2 little cups. Okay. I know that is so simple, but that small act of creating a ritual and a system rather than like, okay, just got to remember to take these supplements 3 times no, that's not going to work, right? On top of doing that every single morning as part of a little ritual, because I don't take them first thing in the morning, but I wanted them somewhere where I could see them, because I take some in the morning, some in the middle of the day. I also, on top of it, set a reminder on my phone, right? I'm setting myself up for success, okay? In order to show up differently, it's going to take some finagling to figure out how your brain works so you can actually show up, right? We can't just expect ourselves to be like, okay, I'm going to take supplements 3 times a day when yesterday I wasn't taking a single supplement. I don't just expect myself to just magically remember these changes, right? So I had to create a system and a ritual around it. Honestly, ritual is such a cuter name. So instead of system, if you like ritual, I had to create a ritual around it to actually be able to remember to take the supplements, okay? And you can apply this to any routine, any ritual, any type of, new habit that you want to implement. Make it a ritual so it's something that you enjoy doing. Systems are going to be the thing that get you to reach your goal. So instead of just focusing on the end goal, because when we only focus on the end goal, our brain thinks about how far away we are from it instead of, okay, what can I do today to get me there? Do you see the difference between those two? When I was struggling to lose weight, I was constantly like, I just need to lose weight. I just need to lose 10 pounds. I just need to lose 10 pounds. When I was focusing on that so much, I was actually focusing on where I'm not rather than what I can do today to actually get me to my goal. Okay. Do you see the difference between these two things? Okay. Create the rituals, have the goal in the back of your mind, right? But create rituals to be able to show up as that person. Now, step number 3 is all about embodying her, right? So now that you know what you need to do, now that you know what you need to do to get to your goals, now it's time to embody that version of her, right? It's so easy to, shame ourselves when we can't show up how we want to, right? But this all comes from our subconscious brain and our patterns and our default patterns, right? Because when we're used to doing one thing over and over again, maybe that's snoozing your alarm. Maybe you snooze your alarm every single day. Your conscious mind just being like, okay, yeah, I'm just not gonna do that tomorrow, right? You wake up automatically, right? You snooze your alarm, you get frustrated. You're like, oh, I told myself I was going to get up. Why can I not get up? That is your default mode network coming into play, right? We can't expect ourselves to just magically change because our conscious mind, the part of our brain that is logical, willpower, decision-making, the part of you that's like, I don't want to snooze my alarm tomorrow. I want to get up. That's a very real part of you. But your subconscious mind is 95% of the actions and the habits you take. So you cannot expect yourself to just magically one day, okay, I'm going to not snooze my alarm, okay? But when you can do this deep inner work, like self-image type of work and identity work, and you change who you believe that you are. Because if you're someone who thinks it's hard to wake up early, but you're just going to try to wake up early tomorrow and not snooze your alarm, that's going to be really hard. Me, on the other hand, I know I'm a morning person. I've been a morning person my whole life. Yeah, there's a period in college where I wasn't really waking up early, but I've always thought of myself as a morning person. Waking up early is honestly easy for me. And it can be easy for you if you tell yourself that you are a morning person. But if you're saying, I'm not a morning person, I'm just not a morning person, obviously it's going to be hard for you to actually wake up because your self-image, how you view yourself, not only in your mind, but how you think other people view you, you are telling yourself that you are not a morning person, yet trying to wake up early. Do you see how there's a misalignment there? Your brain is confused. It's like, Well, I know that you think that we are not a morning person, but you're saying you want to wake up early. You need to align who you want to be with who you believe that you are, okay? And I have a bunch of podcasts on subconscious reprogramming, so I'm not going to go into the nitty-gritty details, but if you want to make reaching your goals easy, you need to fundamentally change who you believe that you are. Change your beliefs. You'll change how you actually take action, which will in turn change your results, right? So what would be really helpful is writing out a list of characteristics of who you want to be, right? And you can say something like, I'm someone who wakes up early. I'll give you a life example of this. I think this was maybe a couple months ago. I was doing some identity work because I just think it's so fun. I was thinking about who my future self was. And one of the things that I wrote down is I'm someone who has a clean car. We live in a place where it's not easy to wash my car. So I've never really had the most clean car. The inside is clean, but the outside is always dirty from like driving to Tahoe and stuff like that. But maybe like a month ago, Eric was like talking about this car wash place who it's for like the first month you can get unlimited car washes for $10 and then it goes to $20 a month and I can get unlimited car washes essentially. My reticular activating system, the part of my brain that was like, I am someone who has a clean car, that part of my brain was like, see, oh, ding, 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 ding. Look, we want to focus on that. We want to have a clean car. In the past, if I never even stated that I'm someone who has a clean car, I would have been like, I don't need that. Like, my car is fine. But because I stated I'm someone who keeps my car clean, that opened up almost like a part of my brain that's like, okay, we want to focus on this. That's your reticular activating system, the part of your brain that essentially you tell it what to focus on, and then you're able to see those different types of opportunities, right? And so because I had stated that and Eric mentioned this, I was like, oh, interesting. I didn't do it right away. But then again, because I had embedded that identity and said that that's something I wanted to focus on, I was able to then be like, oh, actually, wait, I am someone who keeps her car clean. And so it allowed me to see that and then make that decision, okay? This is a small example, but I just want you to know how powerful this work is. What you focus on grows. So when you decide what your identity is and who you want to be, the part of your brain actually opens up to seeing those opportunities. This is a very common type of example as well, but let's just say you are going to buy a Toyota 4Runner. I use the example because it's my cutie car. Maybe before you thought about buying a Toyota 4Runner, you never saw Toyota 4Runners. But guess what? The second you are looking into it, all of a sudden, you see white Toyota 4Runners everywhere, okay? I can't even tell you how many white Toyota 4Runners. Also, I know that's a common car. But anything you can, I think an example is like a red Corvette where it's like, oh, all of a sudden you're like, oh, wow, wait, I actually really like red Corvettes. Now all of a sudden, boom, 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 they're literally everywhere. Okay, that's your reticular activating system. You tell it what to focus on, okay? This is a life hack, okay? Now, whatever your goal is, whatever you need to work on, start telling yourself, I'm someone who, insert whatever it may be. I'm someone who wakes up early. I'm someone who takes care of her physical body. I'm someone who takes care of her mental health, okay? Whatever it is that you need to focus on, start embodying the version of you that has those things, right? It's too hard to just try to, I'm going to try to wake up early tomorrow, even though I hate waking up early. You think you're actually going to wake up early? No. You need to say, I'm someone who wakes up early, okay? Even if you don't believe it at first, okay? That's what identity work is. It opens up your brain to the possibilities, okay? So that's step number 3, all about embodying her, the version of you who has the goals and your dream life, okay? What does she do on a day-to-day basis? What are her habits every day? How's she talking to herself, right? We can go deeper and deeper into this, but I just want you to start, again, noticing your language and writing down, I'm someone who, whatever it is that you want to accomplish, okay? Step number 4 is take aligned action and create an aligned action plan. Okay, I know there's a lot of you here that want to change your life, but listening and taking action are 2 very different things, It's a great step to listen to a podcast, but if you really want to change your life, you need to take the action, okay? Which is why I want you to take some time to actually do all of these steps, right? But we need to take the action. We can't just think, okay, I want this, and then it magically appears, right? We have to actually show up to take the action and tell our brain to focus on those things for it to actually happen. So with the aligned action plan, you can do this in any kind of way, but you can start off with 1 year from now. What do you want your life to look like? What habits, what systems, what rituals, what are you doing then? Okay. And then you can work backwards to 6 months from now. What habits are you doing 6 months from now? What's going on? What's happening? What do you hope to accomplish in 6 months? And you can move to 3 months, to 2 months, to 1 month, to today, in this week. What do I need to do today to get me one step closer towards that 1 year goal? You can even do 5 years and then do 3 years and then 2 years, whatever it may be, okay? Do it in a way that works for you, but taking the aligned action is the important piece, okay? Now, you have a whole entire reset plan right now, okay? If you followed along with every single step, you've got what you need to do today all the way up to a year from now, right? You understand who you need to be and how you need to talk to yourself to actually be able to show up, okay? You know what habits, routines, and rituals and systems that you need to do to reach your goals. And you also did your life audit, which is the very beginning, okay? So again, you can sit here and listen, or maybe you're on your hawk or a walk and be listening to this, but real change comes from taking action. And I want to encourage you to take 30 minutes, sit down, grab a matcha, or even go to a coffee shop, put on some headphones, put on some vibey music, and do each of these 4 steps, okay? Life audit, right? Then number 2 is creating systems, not goals. Number 3 is embodying her. Who do you need to become to actually reach these goals and actually take action on these systems? Step number 4, creating your actual aligned action plan. So you know what you need to be doing today to get you to where you want to go a year from now, 2 years, 5 years from now, okay? Take the action, my love, okay? I promise you, you are going to see so much progress if you actually show up and take aligned action. And the key is aligned action, not who you think you need to be. What is actually in your brain? Your desires are in your brain for a reason, okay? Your desires are your direction. And it's okay to choose something right now and later on be like, this is out of alignment. I want to switch things up, okay? That's 1000% fine. But having a life reset right now, it's so important to take the time to actually figure out what's feeling good right now and what's feeling off. So you can create an action plan to actually show up and reach all of your goals and have your dream life, because you deserve it. You deserve to live your dream life. You deserve to be confident in your body, in your health, in your happy in your career, in your life, okay? You are meant to thrive. Follow these 4 steps to literally reset your life so hard that people aren't even going to recognize you, okay? Wow. Okay, that was so fun. I absolutely loved having this conversation and chatting with you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you could leave a review, it would mean the absolute world to me. I have the link down to write a written review on Apple Podcasts down below. And if you'd like to just rate and review on Spotify, you just have to click the stars up above. It takes literally 0.2 seconds. But either way, I'm so grateful that you're here. I love being in your ear or on your screen every single week. Last thing I'm going to say, if you want to join my weekly newsletter, the link is down below. I send every single week, send you some mindset or maybe recipes, gut health tips, all things health, wellness, and mindset, okay? I also share my Amazon faves, what I'm currently reading, so you can read with me, and so much more. That's where you just get updates on what's going on with me. So if you want to sign up for my newsletter, it is down below. But anyways, thank you guys so much for spending your time with me. I freaking love you, and I'll see you in the next episode.